now a new business model, in our own version of enlightened capitalism. Now, kasi you cannot sustain the work of Gawad Kalinga through philanthropy alone. Although that is important in the first place, but sustainability is empowering our Gawad Kalinga communities. Pero kung squatters sila dati, hindi sila talaga magiging, we cannot be globally competitive. 100 squatters cannot be globally competitive. We have to restore human dignity. We have to build also viable and sustainable communities and as productivity platforms, as well as also bottom of the pyramid wealth creators. Kaya nakatutuwa kami sa bagong gobyerno natin kasi talagang conscious sila about development. Kaya ngayon, tuloy-tuloy lang investment pumasok. I just read kanina that the chairman of Shell in the Philippines, Ed Chua, was in London with the president, to announce the $1 billion investment of Shell now in the Philippines. Kaya nga, floodgates are being opened now, for the big players. But for me, the important thing is that the small Filipinos have to be empowered to become wealth creators beyond just the sari-sari. So we will help cooperatives work in the country. So sa question na yung kanina, we're in the second year under the of the second phase of Gawad Kalinga. So in a scale of 10, I would say siguro baka nandun pa ang Gawad Kalinga siguro sa 4 or 5 kasi ang 2024 being 10. After kasi agriculture and countryside development will be going into massive industrialization on the last 7 years. And 2024 is our timeline. People siguro I have, na a lot of people now are working together. I myself graduated with an economics degree. I worked for 6 years in marketing with Procter & Gamble. So lahat ng mga experiences ng mga Pilipino who love our country, kahit na mag-retire na sila, like our CFO now, formerly was the president of TDCB. Our head for human resources now, formerly was president of a Swiss insurance company. So you have CEOs like Jojo, you have people like Ridoy, working also with people who know wealth creation. So nandito ngayon, the heroes on the ground, creating the platform, kasi ito top-down and bottom-up, and ito is simultaneous na initiative. So for that question, I hope that Canadians now, when they come to the Philippines, hindi lamang para magbisita sa kamag-anak. They have to look now for opportunities to really create wealth in the towns where they come from. We're encouraging graduates of Ateneo, Lasal, UP, and the city universities to go now to Samar, to Leyte, to Bicol, to Capiz, to see the abandoned land that is fertile, and for us to create wealth in our country. Pero it's a major change in mindset, and media has a big role in changing that mindset. I just want to tell them that there will be reverse migration to Asia, in a couple of decades. And things are not so good in Europe and even in North America, especially the United States. And people are starting to see that the grass is not so green anymore, in other parts of the world. But God has allowed Filipinos to be all over the world so that we can create a distribution network for world-class products that the Filipinos will be making. Kung yung mga scientists natin hindi naalis, yung mga top management people natin, at saka yung mga anak ninyo, pauwiin nyo sa Pilipinas, so they can have the best of both worlds, the best of the West and the best of the East. Because the Filipino now is a global citizen.
Next question.
Yes, I'm sure that Filipinos who left the country have land na naiwan na lang sa Pogon, sa AHAS o sa NBA. So, yun po yung unang babalikan natin, yung ating lupa. Kasi ang Singapore, masenso wala silang lupa. Kaya they're investing heavily in the Philippines now. And, just to show you, we're also working now with Singaporean corporations as we are working with Canadian corporations, with Gawad Kalinga. Kasi they're now investing in Gawad Kalinga beyond philanthropy. This is already because they're also creating the market for the next generation. So, ang suggestion ko sa mag-invest sa Pilipinas, agriculture is number one. if you read now the report now from Wall Street, agriculture will provide the highest return among the present investments. Kaya, pag yung mga bankers ngayon sa New York, pumupunta na sa Midwest ngayon para mag-farm. Sa Pilipinas, alam mo ninyo, pag nagtanim kayo ng ube, kaya nyo, basta maayos, meron kayong finished product, pwede tayong magtanim ng ube, and you can earn as much as 1 million pesos in 1 hectare of ube. The sunflowers, you can grow it. You grow high-value crops. Why? Kasi parang ninako yung ating kaluluwa sa atin. Our soul was stolen from us. We were told, that we were made addicts to foreign lands, and we were told that we're not good enough to feed ourselves, to produce our own food, to grow ourselves. Kaya pati ngayon yung mga businessmen na sa Pilipinas mo, nag-outsource pa sa China, nawala na ng trabaho yung mga mahihirap natin na magagaling magtahi sa Bulacan. And that's why we've set up the Enchanted Farm, our Farm Village University in Bulacan, and we have opened it in also Tatingan, in Davao. We have one in Manan, Camarines. So we have 25 sites, and we promised the President we will raise 500,000 social entrepreneurs in this decade. So kailangan deliberate yung effort natin. Huwag na lang naman tayo magreklamo, huwag na lang natin tanggapin, o wala tayong pag-asa, or blame it all to the politicians, or blame it to the church, or blame it to the rich. We must realize that we can, if we continue to blame people, we are part of the problem. We should all be part of the solution.
Magandang tanghali. Mondator, Philippines. Napapicture ko kanina Mr. Giloto na agriculture, of course. Kailangan ng Pilipinas ay bumalik puliran. Pero ang problema po ata, marami sa mga lupa natin, lalo yung mga sa highway, na tinataliman mo ng mga kung ano, palay. Yung ginagawa subdivision, so nauubos ang lupa natin. Di ba dapat, usapin naman ang gawad kayo na sinotin naman ang mga kilala niyong politikoran, gumagawa ng mga. So yun daw talaga agricultural land could not be converted to commercial land. Yung po nangyayari, ako, taga-Nueva ako eh. Ang mga lupa, pinakamalaking agricultural land sa buong Pilipinas yan. Yun yung mga highway ngayon ito, puro subdivision. Kaya we could not really say that agriculture could be the next na magbibigay sa atin ng unless such law is created para siguro mga zoning or what. Agriculture, huwag taniman mga bahay.
May naman, may law naman, hindi lang implement.
Hindi nga ako mabigyan.
Kaya importante that we have an honest president. Importante that we build the full honesty into our DNA. Kasi sasabihin natin, ayaw natin ng corruption. Pero tayo din, in one way or another, compromise. Kasi yung mga kamag-anak natin, corrupt din eh. No? Yeah. So, ang mahalaga dito, that there has to be a cleansing of our country. And at ang mahalaga, kasi tulad yan yung Ondoy, kaya tinamaan naman yung nila, almost 80% of Manila was hit. Bakit? Dahil sa mga subdivision na nasa mga waterways. Pero doon din sa mga probinsya natin, yung mga subdivision naman, ay nandoon lang naman sa mga urban areas. Okay? Ang I'm talking about the countryside. No? Kasi tulad yan sa Bulacan, nalampasan ng development, pumunta ngayon sa Pampanga. Pero 92,000 hectares pa ang lupa sa Remedios Trinidad. Ang laki pa ng lupa sa San Miguel. Kaya po doon kami nag-umpisa sa Angat, Bulacan para magtayo kami po doon ng buying station sa gatas ng kalabaw at kambing. Tapos gagawin natin keso, ginagawa natin ice cream. Nagtanim na rin po tayo doon ng ube, nagtanim tayo ng citronella, lemongrass. And we're setting this as model farms to show the people that with 1 to 5 hectares of land, you can actually get more than becoming a domestic worker in Singapore. No? So, kung meron tayong bottom line na maipakita, at kung magsama-sama ang agrarian reform, may partnership daw po kami with the Department of Agrarian Reform, Department of Trade, Department of Finance, kasama po ang State University. Sa Bulacan, kasama po namin doon CLSU at saka Bulacan Agri-State. Alam mo ninyo kasi, yung technology sa tilapia, no, ay sa Pilipinas galing sa CLSU. Pero ang nag-export ngayon ng tilapia sa Europe ay Thailand. Bakit? Kasi yung entrepreneur wala. Hindi fault ng scientist eh. Wala yung sumasalo kasi ang ating yung mga eskwelahan natin, hindi nag-graduate ng world creators. Puro politicians ang ginagraduate nila. Kasi may eleksyon tayo every 3 years eh. Ilang milyon ba tumatakbo to become a kagawad, to become... yun ang pinakamalaking career opportunity sa kanila. So kung maaari lang sana na, that's why if we can detach ourselves from really just seeing that power is the only way. No, kasi napapakita din natin no, na kung we detach ourselves from like Gawad Kalinga, we detach ourselves from wanting power, we have gained the respect and the trust of the most powerful people in the country. By detaching ourselves from a desire for just fundraising and always looking for money, then we have gained the trust of the wealthiest people. Kasi gusto din nila na they have seen that investing in doing good makes good business sense. Isipin mo ninyo, kanina nabanggit sa akin ni Boy, na 45% daw ng, according to the IMF report of our budget before went to corruption. Ano? Pero ang report din na about 45% of our people are poor. So talagang there's a direct correlation between poverty and corruption. So ito ngayon, you have an honest government, you have a lot of people like you who want to now do a lot of working with us to end poverty. If simultaneous ito, corruption and poverty, top-down initiative, pagkatapos bottom-up, yung bottom yung talagang we build a massive army of volunteers. Kasama, nire-request ko dito sa Canada, kayo po yung mga anak ninyo, bakit hindi nyo ipadala at ipa-intern nyo sa Gawad Kalinga? Kasi sa Europe ngayon, mga puti, like I said, 500 na mga white French are doing their internship in the Philippines in Gawad Kalinga. No, kasi pinaghandaan na nila yung Asian age. And they're now establishing their own network and their own partnership in Asia. So, ang ano ko na, ang mga anak ninyo, may lupa pa yan eh. May mga mag-anak pa na may lupa. No? At saka, yung maraming mga, ang Philippines ito, you have to mark my word, the Philippines will become a hub. It's not going to be Singapore anymore. Because Singapore is just built on a rock. They have no natural resources. They don't even have a consumer base. Less than 5 million. Ang Philippines is almost 100 million consumer base. Kaya ang prediction ng the Financial Times of London is that the Philippines is now one of the VIP countries for investment. Vietnam, Indonesia, and the Philippines. So kailangan din ang mindset ng Pilipino dito at ang media natin should promote that kind of outlook. No? Panahon na natin eh. No, and we have reached rock bottom. There's no place to go but up because we don't want to stay down there anymore. Kailangan yung mga anak natin ganun din ang pagtingin sa sarili nila at saka sa kanilang kinabukasan. Kasi they have to also now honor their ethnicity. Ito yung problema sa Amerika ngayon. Hindi na kasi mundo na lamang na puti. Yung ang pinaka-vibrant ngayon doon na talagang hardworking sa American economy are their ethnic, mga Asians particularly. Dito sa tingin ko, the Chinese, the Filipinos, and the Indians are also the top citizens, becoming the top citizens of this country. Hindi ba? Kaya yung kanilang mga immigrants, they prefer coming from those three countries. Hindi ba? Yes. Yeah, I'm just simply saying, there's more where they come from. Kung ma-educate natin, lahat na mahirap doon, hindi maraming may iba pa makukuha ang Canada doon. Di ba? So dapat yung mga grants ng Canada, dapat sa Pilipinas ipapadala.
Alam mo, Sir Miloto, maganda yung sa inyo sa kanina, when nabanggit ko kanina, yung mga maliliit na entrepreneur, dapat pumunta. Tayo, mga Canadians, Filipino-Canadians, we want to invest in our country. Lalo na yung mga OFWs na trabaho, papadala pera ron. Alam ba, business sa unang binibigay niyan, namimili ng gamit. After that, they want to invest in some businesses. Small business, sabi mo nga, sari-sari. Okay, sabi ko, magandang venture yung sari-sari sa mga bayan, sa probinsya. That's the start of business. The problem lang, hindi na nagagawa yun eh. I have several friends. Nagtrabaho dito, padala ng pera ron, mag-start ng business, sari-sari. Alam nangyari eh. Kasi bawat probinsya, ang mga SM naglalakihan. Lahat ng mabibili mo sa sari-sari, hando na. Kaya, probably, sabi mo, yung gobyerno, they have to do something about it.
But ang kasi, kailangan, i-raise na, mataas ang IQ ng Pinoy, hindi ba? Kaya nga, mga CEO din sila, saka executive ng top multinational companies, hindi mataas ang IQ. Kaya yung mga doktor, naging nurses, mataas din ang EQ. Alam mo yun, yung aming emotional quotient, kasi strong ang family ties natin. Pero dalawang area mababa ang Pinoy. Ang kanyang PQ, patriotic quotient, at ang kanyang SQ, yung kanyang social quotient. Kasi ang definition ng pamilya sa kanya are only he himself and his blood relatives.
Yeah.
No? Kaya nga, ang campaign ng Kawat Kalinga walang iwanan. Kasi kinoconsider natin ang mahirap na pamilya. Kasi kung pamilya mo yan, hindi mo iwanan. Hindi yan, kung puro bilang yan ang tingin mo, bibigyan mo ng limos. Kung ang tingin mo sa kanila trabahador na, bibigyan mo ng mababang natural preservative. Kukonekta. Siniraan tayo ng American mga soya bean manufacturer na walang kwenta daw yung coconut. Mataas ang cholesterol mo at saka they have the highest yung coco nectar pala bago pa gumawa ng tuba, pag nagagal mo yung foam, pinakamagaling pala yan because of the high amino acids for falling hair. So kaya mga matatanda mga Pinoy, konti na yung kalbo kasi yung ginagamit na mga buko at so I'm simply saying 350 years of almost Pavlovian conditioning. Sinabi sa atin na hindi natin kaya gumawa ng world-class products. That we are, we have been conditioned to think of ourselves as second-class citizens of the world. Pero ngayon, we have to realize that 2024, magsama-sama tayo, we can really become a first world country. No? Pero kailangan na. Kasi, what is life if it has no purpose? If it has no dream? If it has no goal? And at 62, dapat we should not think, I don't think of myself as too old to dream. And the greatest dream that I have is for my country. Kasi it will be carried on by my children. Either the honor or the disgrace will be called. So generational yan, yung inheritance mo. So tayo dito, at our age, we have been educated in the top universities. That's why we made it to Canada or to the United States. Now, how can we now also, what kind of legacy are we going to the future Filipinos wherever they are in the world? Ito ngayon, let's build on the 4 years of the Aquino administration. Magtulungan tayo. Kasi I've never, ito, hindi lang ito honest, matapang pa. No? Kaya kailangan dito na yung nitpicking and all the negative comments, o kaya wala nang payabangan dito. Kaya kailangan dito yung we are now surrendered to the higher purpose. And the highest purpose now is to empower our country and for the Philippines now to rise in Asia. That's the higher purpose. So dapat barilin nyo ang naninira sa bansa natin.
We probably have time for one more question. Two more questions, okay? Mike? Okay, your mic already. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Imelda Ortega Cesara. I met Tony Maloto about over a year ago when you launched Gawad Kalinga in Toronto. Anyway, my question is, I represent IO Media, and I'm also the new Publicity and Communications Officer for the Philippine Press Club Ontario. I just wanted to know, what's the best way that the media overseas can help raise awareness and fundraising on an ongoing basis to help Gawad Kalinga in its efforts to alleviate poverty in the Philippines? Could you give some tips on how we could do it on an ongoing basis?
Well, first of all, speak positively about the Philippines. And think no longer just about, don't have a fundraising mentality. Think about love of country. Now, if you go kasi for the pocket, you get those change. No? But if you go for the heart, the pocket will follow. And usually the pocket is shallow. No? And but yung we're now looking for long-term investment. No, but philanthropy is important. For many people, that's the best way that they can express their support for our country because they're busy with their work. But to me, the most important thing is for you now just to be a messenger of good news. No? And when you have now your fundraising events, make it a celebration of a celebration for Filipinos who will be dancing because there will be no more poverty in our country by 2024. Kailangan, meron kayong vision because the people without a vision will perish if you read the Bible. But no one has articulated an audacious dream for the Philippines. No vision. Kaya, kung saan-saan tayo napupunta. No? Kaya kailangan tumaya tayo sa dream na yan. And I just want, I'm not really after, the money is good. But like I told Conrad, because people listen to him, the big corporations listen to him. By writing about what is honest, what is true about the country, he found Gawad Kalinga. And tuwing sumusulat siya, tumataas na ang credibility ng Gawad Kalinga. Every week we're in the newspaper, we're in the front pages of the newspaper. Kaya ilagay dapat ng mga dyaryo ang Gawad Kalinga at ang mga magaganda nangyayari sa Pilipinas. Kasi madali na ang mga Pilipino magtulong sa bayan nila kung positive ang outlook nila. If they're so for a country, it's so easy for people to help. If they're despair, they will just help the relatives. So, ang grants din, if you know how to present the interest of Canada in Asia and the interest of Canada in Canada with the Filipino groups here, if you know how to present Gawad Kalinga as the bridge, you know, not only it's a bridge of friendship, but it's also an economic bridge, you know, and it's a cultural bridge. Then, kung ganon, then the big bucks will come from Canadian corporations, like what's happening with Gawad Kalinga. The Canadian government is one also of the most generous in terms of grants. No? Kaya lang, ang maganda dito, yung mga fundraising ng mga Philippine organization is what allowed them to build the first Gawad Kalinga communities. Kaya meron na nakita, because importante in the world is proof of concept. Meron kasi fundraising ka ng fundraising, tapos isang ano lang pala, basketball court ay tatayo. No? But when you now fundraise, because it is part of a total approach, a holistic approach. Kasi when you build communities, it's not only about homes, it's about schools, it's about health, it's about education, it's about water system, it's about farms. So ang Gawad Kalinga kasi goes for the holistic, sustainable approach. You have many choices. No? But it's important for you to first understand what Gawad Kalinga is. Please read the website of Gawad Kalinga and be an advocate and then a fundraiser.
Yeah. Last question from Mr. I guess Mr. Rodel.
I'm Rodel Ramos, freelancer, but I also represent the Philippine Canadian Inquirer.
So you know Honor Nikiros.
Of course, it's my favorite columnist.
Si dumating siya dito, hindi nga alam ng Canada. Dapat lahat ng mga Filipino communities should just even have time with him and listen to him. But anyway, mamaya ang hapon magsasalita siya. No, kasi kahit na masama ang mga yung hindi maganda yung susunod kay Gloria, siya yung unang binabasa ni Gloria. No, that shows also that he gets respect from those, from whatever he writes, whether it's positive or negative, because of his honesty, integrity. And that is now, yan ngayon ang value na nakita ng Pilipino, that we can be an honest people. But thank you, Rodel, you were always there with us from the beginning.
I saw the vision that you had with Ilan and Ricky, so I just followed you there. Thank you. This has to be promoted.
Hanggang 2024 yan. Sana, our prayer is that we live that long. So, walang pwedeng mamatay before 2024.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the photo opportunity. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, the way I look at it, I've been studying our community since time immemorial, more than 30 years ago. And I saw that our problem is trust. And as Mon Datol said a while ago, that a lot of people have sent money to the relatives and friends to put up businesses, and it is blown away. So it's very hard, even in our community, that we don't trust each other. That's why we have to focus on that trust, how we can regain that trust. Because the banks trust us. They give us mortgages of $100,000, and yet, how come we don't trust each other? At one time, I was involved with the Mount Pinatubo donation in Bacson government, and one Filipino gave $1 in the funds, and he said, ingatan nyo lang yan, siguraduhin yung madala sa mga may hirap. hindi sa pocket ng mga magnanakaw. Sinasabi. And so, I think that once we get out of this trust, the Filipinos, for example, here, if we can put in $1,000 each in some businesses in the Philippines and make it grow. If only we can trust people there in the Philippines. So,
Well, Rodel, ang sinabi mo at ang comment mo ni Mon was all about trust. No? Kaya nga, pati na yung mga areas agriculture na ginagawang subdivision. Kasi yung mga nabibili, kasi yung mga nandoon sa agrarian reform dati. Pero yung ating Secretary of Agrarian Reform is a very trustworthy person, William de los Reyes. No? And that's one good thing about now. So many, parang nag-set ngayon ng kwan na we cannot go anywhere unless we're trustworthy. Ito lang yan. At saka yung walang wang-wang na utak. Kasi ang Pinoy dati, at saka kung sabihin mo, hindi naman the people who are the biggest corruptors are coming from the top universities of our country. Hindi ba? Hindi ba? Let's be honest. Historically, the most educated are coming from the top universities. So kailangan tayo muna, we have to clean up our act. Kaya very symbolic itong nangyari sa bansa natin. Tulad ngayon, Simon, that's why nagugulat tayo sa mga humility ng mga Pinoy. The real achievers kasi do not blow it up. Tulad yan, nandito Undersecretary of the Office of the President, si Mario Quinien, na Undersecretary ng gobyerno. Wala na ng fanfare na dumating dito, wala namang consul na sumundo sa kanya. Pero nandiyan lang sa likod. Hindi alam. Kasi ganun nga, wala na no wang-wang. Kasi dati nagbubusina ka agad na darating kami dyan kahit barangay captain eh. No? So I'm just saying that it's yung bagong panahon na ngayon. Yeah, si Cherry. No? Si Cherry kasama ko rito. No, top student of the Philippines yan. 10 outstanding Filipinos. 8 offers from Fulbright to become a scholar in America. Tinanggihan niya. Kasi sabi ko sa kanya, if you accept Fulbright, you're not so bright. No, kasi the opportunities now are in the Philippines. Maraming mga kababayan natin na mga katalino na pinukuha, hindi na pinapabalik. Kasi ang pagkakataon ngayon sa Pilipinas, what will happen to all those opportunities if we lose also the next generation? Now, it's important for the first generation to come home. Spend 6 months in the Philippines, 6 months in Canada, enjoy the best of both worlds. Send your children there. Send your children there. For them to now honor their own, yung kanilang ethnicity, their birthright. And for them, kasi madali, that's why we're going to the universities. Kasi kung kayo lang magsabi, hindi sila pupunta. Pero kung ang mga kaklase nila nag-invest na sa Pilipinas, pupunta sila. Kung nag-internship na sa Pilipinas, pupunta sila. Kung yung Harvard, Columbia, kung ang Oxford and Cambridge are now going there. Kasi ang Pinoy kailangan pa rin yung colonial mentality natin nandyan pa. Kailangan makita natin muna na we are accepted globally. No? Kasi ang mga anak natin na second generation dito, mainstream na. Sa Amerika, mainstream na sila. So, ang traditional way of bringing them back does not work for them. But if they see now the Philippines now as a land of opportunity, as a land of opportunity for the next generation of citizens from America, from Canada, from the US, then pupunta sila doon. Kasi that's where capital is flowing. As GDPs are rising, that's where capital will flow. That's where opportunities are being created. That's where jobs will be opened. That's where profit will be made. That's where a lot of the next generation will be going to. Kaya daming puti na nakasawa ng Pinay ngayon. No? At saka nakikita ko yung mga CEO ng ibang kumpanya doon, iniiwanan yung matatanda kasawa nila at makahanap ng batang Pilipina. So, huwag nyo na i-record tayo. Kasi this is now about global partnership. Na ang nakikita natin ngayon, na the next generation will be a hybrid generation. Not the next generation. Kasi ang Filipinos, 12 billion are all over the world and they're marrying into the culture. They're also, ang mga anak nila are also marrying locals. So the next generation of Filipinos, no, are coming from their migrant, the parents who migrated. And they're going to enrich our country. No? In richer countries, yung 40 years or 50 years na nawala yung mga Pinoy, it's really just preparation for something greater. They will come home at the right time, and they will be sending their children also at the right time, and their children will be proud of the country. No, not that they have left behind when there was still no opportunity. Kasi this is now the Philippines, this is the biggest revolution in the Philippines now, that we will make the Philippines the land of the honest, the land of the just, and the land of the prosperous.